You guys see the title, you know why you're here. This next story is a true story. It should be used as an example of what are the possibilities when dating, visiting, or traveling around the world. Watch or listen to this while you're driving, cleaning, on the train, at the gym, or just getting things done. Grab yourself a drink or a snack. This is a story you don't want to miss. Stay until the end. This one is a banger. Here it goes. My name's Cameron. I'm 34 years old from Canada. I grew up traveling to the usual destinations most of us Canadians travel to: Latin America and the Caribbean. Cuba and Mexico were my family's go-to vacationing spots. I also went a few times with the boys and twice with my girlfriend Amy. Amy and I dated for 10 years. After we broke up, my love life was a string of friends with benefits, situationships, and one-nighters. I've been told I'm fairly good looking, so I wouldn't quite say I had a hard time dating and sleeping with women. Although I enjoyed hookups, it kinda got old. I wanted that connection and stability I had with Amy, but with someone new. And most of these Gen Z girls here were, let's just say, unfit for that title. I worked for my father's roofing company for as long as I could remember, even though I went to school for marketing. Pay was great, but as you can imagine, it's stationary. Yeah, you can travel in the off-season, but only for a shorter period of time. I never really left Canada for more than 2 weeks at a time. And I had the idea since high school of going backpacking through Southeast Asia, as generic as that sounds, but now being in my 30s, although still considered young, I think I was past that stage. If I were to go, it would have to be while earning money. I didn't want to eat away at my savings, so I told my dad and my family I'd start looking for a remote marketing position, putting my degree to use. I was hired after a few hundred resumes sent through Indeed, Glassdoor, and LinkedIn. The pay was great, and it was fully remote as long as I was able to work in the North American time zones. And just like that, I now had my ticket to freedom. So I went to Thailand and hit up every major region from Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, Lampang, and Lamphun in the north, to Khon Kaen and Udon Thani in Isan, and Phuket in the south, and of course, Bangkok and Pattaya in the center. Those first few months made me rethink what I was doing all my life and why I didn't leave Canada sooner. Working and having that Western salary did wonders. I felt kind of like Superman. I 10x'd my life. I definitely felt wealthier than I ever did, even though my salary was comparable to back home, but the cost of living was incredible here, especially for the amenities you get in return, in condos and hotels here. I had my fair share of fun. Dating here was on easy mode, especially in more rural parts of the country. Having colored eyes didn't hurt either. I met while working out at a gym called The Track, Bangkok. She was fit and kept giving me that look, so I walked up to her and the rest is history. I made Bangkok my base of operations, and and I dated almost the entire rest of my stay there. The company I worked for went down under, so to not have to eat into my savings, I decided to head back home for a bit while I got another remote job and got a chance to see my family and friends. Those 8 months I spent back in Canada after dating for almost a year was brutal. Called me every day for the first 3 months or so, but with time, that passion began to fade for her, not me. Began to feel like I may never come back again and started to go clubbing and partying with her friends. Something she said she wouldn't do because she was in a committed relationship with me and saw a future. Just for better context, was 26 at the time, turning 27. One of my good Thai buddies that I hung out with countless times told me she's probably banging some other farang. My friend Sira told me that although I was faithful to her because I knew I would return, she, like many other Thai women, believes farang men, especially men in their 20s and 30s, are not here to stay and are just passing through. When Sira dropped that bomb, it just shocked me, here I was back in Canada, thinking I'm holding it down for planning my return while she's out clubbing, maybe, effing some other dude. I mean, she swore she was staying celibate, saying stuff like, "Cameron, I only want you, I'm waiting for you." But Siraj's words stuck with me. He said Thai girls, especially younger ones, aren't sitting around waiting for a guy who's not there. They've got options. Local guys, other foreigners, and if you're not around, you're basically a ghost. It's not like I was sending her money or anything dumb like that, but I was invested. I thought we had something real, like what I had with Amy back in the day, but hearing Siraj say she's probably moved on, that made me question if this long distance thing was bullshit. Like, can you really call it a relationship if you're not really there? I was starting to feel like I was living a fantasy, holding on to something that didn't really exist anymore. It's not just about it's about how being thousands of miles away makes it so easy for things to just fall apart. So I'm back in Canada trying to keep things going with and man, it felt like I was fighting a losing battle. At first, I was all in. We'd video call every day. Me in my freezing Toronto apartment, her in some sunny Bangkok cafe. She'd smile, call me handsome, say she missed me, and I'd feel like we could make it work. I was working my ass off to land another remote job, planning to get back to Thailand ASAP. Kept saying she was staying celibate, waiting for me, and I believed her like a dumbass. I mean, we'd been together almost a year, built something real, or so I thought. I was loyal, turning down girls hitting on me at bars, thinking I'm building a future with her, but as the months progressed, something felt off, like I was holding on to a dream that wasn't really there. The time difference was brutal. Thailand's 11 hours ahead, so I'd be up at 2 a.m. to catch her before she went out. At first, she'd pick up, all sweet, telling me about her day, promising she was staying true, but then the calls got shorter. She'd say she was busy or out with friends, which was new. She used to stay in saying she didn't need to party. I'd ask what she was up to, and she'd get vague like, oh, just chilling. My gut was screaming. Something wasn't right, but she'd hit me with, Cameron, I'm waiting for you, don't worry. I wanted to trust her, but Siraj's words from before kept creeping in. Thai girls, especially in their 20s, don't wait around for guys who aren't there. They see guys like me, foreigners in their 30s, as just passing through, not sticking around for the long haul. Siraj broke it down for me one night over a call. He said, mate, you're not here. Om's young. She's got dudes hitting her up all the time. Thai guys, farangs, doesn't matter. Why would she sit at home when you're not coming back for months? It stung, but it made sense. It was logical. Back in Bangkok, I was there, taking her to dinner, hitting the gym together, spending time together in person. But 8,000 miles away, I was just a face on a screen. Siraj nailed it. If you're not living in Thailand most of the year, the relationship's fake. Wasn't my girlfriend anymore. She was living her life like I didn't exist. I wasn't sending her money or anything, thank God, but I was pouring my heart into calls, texts trying to keep it alive, and it felt like I was the only one trying. I started noticing red flags. She'd post Instagram stories at clubs, dancing with her girls, sometimes with random dudes in the background. I'd ask and she'd brush it off, saying, just friends, Cameron, relax. But the calls dropped every few days, then once a week. She'd say she was too tired or her phone died. I'm not an idiot. I knew she was pulling away. Siraj kept drilling this in my head. Buddy, bro, she's not sitting around waiting for you. Girls like they've got options. You're in Canada, she's in Thailand, living her life. He wasn't being mean, he was just stating facts. He'd seen it before, guys like me thinking they got loyal girlfriends, okay, while she's out there doing whatever the hell she wants. My other friend also chimed in and said, 90% of the time, these girls keep living their lives because why would a young, attractive woman commit to a guy who's not even there? I tell myself, she's different, she loves me, but deep down I knew better. Long distance relationships sound nice, video call, sweet text, but without being there, touching base, seeing each other face to face, it's just words. I was faithful, planning my return, but her life didn't stop. She wasn't my girlfriend in Bangkok anymore. She was a girl I used to know and was just a guy on her phone. That's when I started questioning if long distance relationships are even a real thing. Do they work? If you're not there to build something together, day in and day out, what are you even holding on to? I felt like I was clinging to a memory, not a relationship. Just when things couldn't get any worse, my buddy Jake, who's still in Bangkok, hits me up one night with a screenshot of Om's profile on Tinder, active with new pics I'd never seen before. She's posing in some club, all smiles, bio saying something like, looking for fun. This is the same girl who swore up and down to you that she'd never cheat, telling you she's waiting for you, Cameron. What the hell? That betrayal opened my eyes to a harsh truth I hadn't faced. Plenty of guys like myself, tourists and expats, think they've got a loyal girlfriend or wife across the world, sending cash and dreaming of a future, only to find out they're living a lie. I was not alone. Bangkok's full of stories of guys burned by women who were never theirs to begin with. Back in Thailand, I heard whispers about this but brushed it off, thinking was different. Now, stuck in Canada, I started talking to buddies, expats, and travelers who had been through the same mess. Their stories were shocking but true, showing me how easy it is to fall into the trap of sponsoring a girlfriend you barely know. Take Mike, a 57-year-old Aussie I met at a Bangkok gym. He was a retired mechanic, divorced, living in Pattaya on a pension. He fell for a 29-year-old Thai girl named Ning who called him her soulmate. Mike sent her 20,000 baht a month to help her family, thinking they'd get married. He'd fly back to Australia for work stints, and she'd swear she was staying true to him. Then a friend of his sent him photos of Ning cozying up with a German tourist at a walking street bar. Mike confronted her, and she claimed it was just her friend, but he later found out she had 3 other boyfriends sending her cash, one from Sweden, another from Japan. Mike was crushed, out of tens of thousands, and back in Sweden swearing off Thailand for good. Then there's Paolo, an Italian chef in his 40s I met while walking in Lumpini Park. He met Nani at a club. She moved into his Chiang Mai condo, and he started paying her rent and bills, thinking they were building a life. Paolo was back in Italy for a few months to sort out a visa, sending her money to keep things going. He came back to find her shacked up with a British backpacker in his 20s in the same condo he paid for. Nani had been double dipping, telling each guy she was exclusive while pocketing their cash. Paolo's now cynical, says he'll never trust a long distance setup again, and sticks to short-term flings now. Even younger guys get played. I met Liam, a 35-year-old Brit, through a Bangkok expat group chat. He was teaching English in Isan, fell hard for a local girl, Fa, who worked at a karaoke bar. Liam thought she was his fiancée, sending her 10,000 baht monthly to save for a wedding. He'd visit her every few months, thinking it was true love. One trip, he caught her texting a Korean guy who was also sending her money, promising the same future. Fa admitted she saw Liam as a sponsor, not a partner, and had 2 other foreigners on the hook. Liam quit teaching, moved back to London, and warned me, bro, if you're not there every day, you're just a wallet. These stories weren't just gossip, they were a mirror. I wasn't sending money back, thank God, but I was investing my heart, thinking we had something real. Like Mike, Paolo, and Liam, I bought into the fantasy that love could survive distance, especially in a place like Thailand, where life moves fast and options are endless. A Thai friend, not Sira, put it blunt. Farangs come, fall in love, leave, and think she'll wait. She won't. She has bills, friends, and a life here. It's not always about malice, it's about survival in a culture where presence is everything. Wasn't my girlfriend, 8,000 miles away. She was living her life, and I was a fool for thinking calls could keep us tight. Hearing these guys' stories, different ages, countries, backgrounds, drove it home. Long distance in Thailand is a setup for heartbreak. You're not just fighting distance, you're up against a culture where relationships thrive on being there, not promises. I wasn't Mike wiring cash to his girl or Paolo funding a condo for a cheater, but it was close enough. Believing Om's words over her actions. That screenshot was my wake-up call. I had to face it. I wasn't her boyfriend anymore, just a guy she used to know, and I needed to stop living the lie before it broke me. With all that said, I'm now back in Thailand, living in a condo with my new girlfriend, Ploy. She's 28 years old and a graphic designer. We met at an Ekamai bar over Muping in a debate whether mango sticky rice beats pad thai. We're splitting rent, planning weekend trips to Chiang Mai, and bickering over who left the sink full of dishes. It's by no means some fairy tale romance. Morning coffee runs, her stealing my favorite shirt, the kind of stuff you can't get from a FaceTime call. If you're not present, you're not in a relationship. You're just pen pals. In Thailand, relationships thrive on shared moments. I was naive thinking texting calls could keep someone. Now with Ploy, I'm here every day seeing her roll her eyes when I butcher Thai phrases or burn the toast. My new job sealed the deal. After the last company tanked, I hustled on LinkedIn and landed a remote marketing gig with a solid outfit, a reputable US-based firm with clients across Asia. They're stable, growing, not some fly-by-night startup going under anytime soon. The pay's better than my old roofing days, and I can work from my Thonglor condo, sipping iced coffee while Ploy sketches logos next to me. This job lets me live in Thailand without sweating bills or dipping into savings. I've got a gym membership, a motorbike for zipping through Bangkok's chaos, and enough left for weekend getaways. It's the kind of setup that keeps me rooted here, not dreaming of a life I can't sustain. Thailand's my home now. I'm not planning to move back to Canada, not for good anyway. I'll pop back maybe once in a while to see my parents and buddies, grab a beer when I'm back in Toronto, and shovel some snow for old time's sake. But that's about it, man, because I feel like life here is way better than it's ever been. Make sure to check out my previous video right over here. And send over a story of your own that you'd like to be featured in the next video. Subscribe, share, like, and comment. My name's Roberto, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.